Automotive Rule 180. All car dealerships are shady. Like, this is just BS at the end of the day. I just, the YouTube algorithm feeding me stuff, and they leave my autoplay on during the day, and like, who knows what's going to pop up. Right now, it's a lot of cars and golf stuff. But the Street Speed 717, and I think I did an episode on him before. I might be screwing his name up. Episode popped up where he was saying that the whatever dealership he was working with on the Z06 came back and was asking for $100,000 markup. And then I did a quick Google search, and it seems like, yeah, this is going on. I talk a lot about this because it's kept me out of the Ford brand. They tried doing that crap to me on a Raptor, and I told them to kick rocks. And they tried doing that on a Shelby, and they tried doing that on the Shelby when like COVID. I was trying to get one right when COVID crashed, and people thought the world was ending. Even then, they're like, "Oh, $25,000," and I'm like, "Look, man, this conversation is going to end with the word your mother." And like, I don't think we want to go there right now. So I went and bought a Camaro ZL1 and took it down to K-Tech, and we got around 800 horsepower, and I love the car. I didn't get a Raptor. I bought a GMC 2500, and I went and put a ridiculous lift kit and Fox coilover setup and the whole piggyback, and I was happy. I'll just stay out of Ford. The problem is, like, you see them doing that with the Ford electric vehicles right now. They're doing that obviously with the Corvette. Dude, like, what's a Z06? Over 100,000, and then you're gonna throw on another 100,000, like 200,000 for a Corvette Z06. Look, man, amazing machine. But someone made a comment on I think it was Street Speed, and I 100% agree because I've said it before. They're like, look, if I'm gonna pay 225 for a vet, there's McLarens out there I can get for that price, and I'm like hell yeah. It just gets to the point to where it's ridiculous, and I'm gonna go look at other options. I'm not paying 250 for a vet where I know 100 of that is money that can evaporate when the market shifts. Right? It's not intrinsic value of this piece. It's this markup, and that's really the issue of it. And I got this mentality. I'm gonna do it in my business series, but I don't know, maybe there's something out there in a textbook you call this. But as prices rise, the what consumer considers value is different. And I think that's going to hurt places like Subway and Little Caesars, for example. When the Little Caesars pizza is $5, you're like, okay, if it's $6, okay. I think when the Little Caesars pizza becomes $10, you start, no matter what you're making, even if your wage increases with that, it's seeing that pizza costs $10. You go, well, if I'm going to spend $10 on a Jets, I'd rather just spend $14. Oops, I'm screwing that up. If I'm going to spend $10 on a Little Caesars pizza, I'm going to spend $14 and get a Jets pizza, right? In a way, it makes you spend more money because you feel like you're getting more value. And that's how I feel that's going to happen with places like Subway with the cheaper subs. If I got to spend $10 on Subway, I might just go to Penn Station or Jersey Mike's or somewhere like that, and I'll spend more money because I feel like I'm getting more value at that point. That's what's kind of happening in this car market. You got these. I mean, if you look at who's driving vets around here, I mean, Street Speed 717's a younger dude, right? But around here, it's a lot of guys that always dreamt of having a Corvette, and they'll spend whatever. Look, man, I got two Porsches on order. One's a GT3. They'll call me for allocation probably in like a decade. So I know that's a long shot before I even get a shot at that one. The other one is a Ford GTS, and I figured by the time you spec that one out, and I'm just off the top of my head, 150, I don't know, 160. I'm sure the dealer's going to throw some markup on there, but let's hope I can keep the Ford GTS under like 200,000. Do I want the Porsche, Ford GTS spec'd out, just everything to my exact detail? Or do I want to buy the Z06? Both amazing machines. I just think in 5 years, just from an investment value, the Porsche is going to hold more value, and I'm just going to enjoy it more. It just gets to the point where it's like, okay, maybe if you're going to spend 200 on a vet, why not spend 50 more and try to pick up a McLaren or something, right? Or a McLaren GT. I think they weren't going for that bad a price. And I think that's the issue you have right here. when the demand's really hot like this, because the supply is so low, you'll sell them, and then the rest of the people are going to go. I'd rather just go buy. I'd rather spend a little more money and get something I perceive as greater value. And it's that whole thought of Ford did that with the Shelby. It's like, well, if you're going to try to, what was that thing, like 80 grand? 80, 90,000 for a Shelby. If you're going to try to hit me for 90,000, the thing's 80, 90, and you're going to try to throw 25,000 on top of it. Let's just say that the Ford for that Mustang's going to try to get me for 125 with the dealer add-on for the ADM. I'm like, well, I'm going to spend 125. Then I'm just going to go spend 175 and get the Porsche. And that's just where my mindset is, and I think a lot of people that have money to afford those kind of toys think the same way. Unfortunately, you're going to get a lot of these people who just they wanted to have a GT 500, or they wanted all this stuff. I've always wanted that, and they'll go pay crazy prices for it. There's a lot of people that are value driven, and they're going to say, I'll spend more money to get something that's got a higher perceived value or higher personal value to me. So I don't think this ends well. This is going to drive. This is stupid because on the other episode I did, GM's like, well, if you flipped a car, we're going to say that you can't transfer the warranty. But they sit around and they let this shit happen. And Ford lets it happen, and they make it seem like they're beating on the dealers, but it doesn't seem to be that way. And then, GM's doing it because they can get away with it for the moment. And while the dealer makes more money, I think this actually causes brand damage to General Motors. I think it causes damage to Ford. Because when this hysteria ends, you got a lot of pissed off people, and they're going to go to other brands. And this is where the dealer/OEM model sucks, because the dealers just don't care about Ford as a brand. They only care about lining their pockets. And those two need to be aligned. And it's like, again, Ford didn't keep me out of Ford. The dealership has kept me out of the Ford brand. With 2 times trying to buy something with ADMs that, dude, hit me for $5,000. I'll duke you the 5. 25 grand on a Raptor? Nah, man, go. It's a whole lot of things I could say you go do. Not doing it, right? I don't see the value in it. And they're probably going to do it. They finally brought back the Raptor with the V8 like they should have. Because I'm getting tired of hearing these tin can 6s going down the street. And they're going to mark those things up too. But again, as I made a point in the GM video, they don't mind when the dealers do this, because it actually makes their brands seem a little more exotic. It makes them seem like maybe they're up there with the likes of Porsche or some of the other real luxury manufacturers. And I think the OEMs thrive on this because they raise it. For now, it raises their brand equity. In the long run, I think it destroys it. We can't forget who is the people that typically buy the Mustangs and the Raptors and the Corvettes. It says right now you got a hot market because supply is low. Here's my thing. How about you just tell the dealers, you can cap they probably can't tell the dealers, unfortunately. There's probably something in their agreement where they can't cap it. Look, whatever, $5,000, $10,000 is the max. That's reasonable. We're going to build more cars. Maybe you need to get in line. You got to put a deposit down. You put a non-refundable $10,000 deposit down, and we will build you a car and sell it to you for a reasonable price. They don't want to do that because they get all this PR about how, the more you see this stuff, and more it makes people want it, right? And it makes it seem like the Corvette's even better than it really is. Look, man, at the end of the day, if a Corvette's going to cost as much as a Ferrari, I'll take the Ferrari. I'll take the Lambo. I'm going to take the McLaren. I'm going to take the Porsche GT3. There's some people out there that love Corvettes, and they'd rather have the Corvette, knock your socks off, cool for you. I like a Corvette for about $100,000. I think tremendous value. I love my Camaro Z01. I mean, what was that thing? $65,000, $70,000. Put a few bucks into it with custom forged wheels and then the work at K-Tech. I got a street car that I just love. I'll beat the hell out of that thing. Good luck keeping up with it unless you're up in that 650, 750, 800 horsepower range or more. It's a hell of a lot of fun. Like it's it's the car I can drive down my dirt road and not worry about. Is what it comes down to. Hell of a lot of fun that I don't have to worry about a rock flipping up and hitting it. But to me, it's a good value car. The Mustang is a good value car. The Corvette was a good value car, but the Corvette was also an amazing machine, right? But it was within reach of almost everyday, average Joe. But they're making it where it's not anymore. And to me, that's like this. That's not what Corvette and like Mustang was about. I think they stopped. From what I heard, the inventories on the Camaros are really low, so you can't even get those things anymore. I don't know. I'm tired of dealers. I'm tired of their BS. I'm sure when my Porsche comes in, they're gonna mark it up, but at least I know that I can get my money back out of that when the market changes. I mean, if you look at Bring a Trailer, what's going on? There might be a reckoning coming on Bring a Trailer because I was looking for a 964, and those things are selling for 90, 100, 110, $120,000. We won't even talk about turbos. Like the whole market's is very inflated right now, and the only question is this the new normal or is this the bubble? Is the bubble popping? I mean, it seems like you saw the apex on Bring a Trailer, where you saw the peak prices and you kind of got the down curve now. How far that curve goes down, I don't know. But I'm not paying $100,000 more for a Chevy Corvette. It's the thing is there's people out there doing it, and if you stop doing it, then maybe these cars sit on the lot and maybe they learn their lesson. But some guy's gonna come along and just get it so he can be one of the first people out there to have it, and then these dealers are gonna keep doing this crap. It's like I just did an episode on BMW charging $18 for electric seats a month, like fork off. You got GM saying they're going to disable warranties if you flip a car. It's like I can't flip a car, but you can have a dealer charge me $100,000. Oh, get the hell out of my face! Everywhere you go is just this bullshit. It's like, man, I just want to buy something. If I buy it, I want to own it. It's mine. Don't tell me what to do with it. And I don't want to get screwed in the process of buying it. And that's just where we're at right now. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, Street Speed's got a pretty good sized channel, if I recall. He's going to get the ear of somebody. But, doesn't stop people from buying. See, this stuff pisses me off. I won't go buy it. I won't even argue with the Ford dealer. I said, I'll go find something else. There's too many cars out there, man. And we'll see what happens when my Ford GTS comes in. Like, I'm expecting some markup, but if they come back and say I want $100,000 for a Ford GTS, like this conversation is going to end on your mother. Like, just plain and simple. I'll go look around and find something else, or hell, I got a lot of cars. I don't need a car that bad to just fork over $100,000 because the dealer feels like they can. I know it's a supply and demand. For the most part, I don't want to participate. And until people stop participating, this crap is just going to continue to go on. So, I'm looking at, I just read an article, the Porsche GT3s are just mind-boggling right now. And they're doing the same thing. They've talked a lot about California, but they're throwing a $100,000 markup on a GT3, and those things are coming in spec, high 100s, whatever, maybe 200, but everything on it, and then they're selling for like $315 out there. And they're selling fast. I think, and then you look around, they're all super low miles. If they do end up on the market again, so they're not even driving them; they're either trying to flip them, which ain't working because it's already so much goddamn money, or they think it's going to be an investment. And I think these cars are pretty good investments around sticker. But if you're going to buy a GT3 for like $320,000 when we think this is the top of when money supply was beefed up and inflation's at an all-time high, like you're buying at peak. Like, I don't know. Like, we'll see. Maybe that investment will play out. I don't know if it's going to play out on a Z06. I mean, can you imagine spending $225 on a Z06? Do you think you're going to... What's that look like in, like, 10 years? I don't know, man. Anyways, do you have any stories? Has a dealer tried to screw you? What kind of ADM you getting hit with? There's actually, I couldn't find it. It might be markups.org. Don't type that in because I don't know for sure. But there's a website out there that tracks markups, and you can type in the name of the dealer or the brand in your state, and you can see what people are trying to do, what the dealer's trying to do, and how they're trying to screw people. If I find that website, I'll link it in the first comment. But it's cool if you go state by state and you just type in Ford, or you type in Porsche, or you type in like the name of a dealer or an auto group. there's a list of people that talk about what vehicle they were trying to buy and what the markup was. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just to give you an idea of who's trying to screw who out there. Anyways, if you got a story, drop one below.